Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to do a little yoga demonstration practice for you. You're welcome to join in if you would like. Remember, if there's anything we're doing that you find is too difficult for you, maybe it's something that hurts a little bit or you're moving towards a discomfort that you're feeling, see if you can just take your time with it, either sit it out completely or we'll give you some modifications and see how we go. So Maura's going to be doing the demonstration. What you'll see me doing is giving her some various adjustments, but I'll call her through it, talk her through it, and this is what you would see if you came in and did pretty much any Ashtanga class at the beginning of the sequence. We're going to pare it back a little bit, so just a couple of the first postures, and then we're going to go through the sequence that gets into the standing postures. Should we get started? So step on up to the front of your mat. If you're practicing with us at home, also step on up to the front of your mat, feet together, hands down by your side. First thing we're doing is a sun salutation, or Surya Namaskara A. Ekam, inhale. We're going to take the hands up and look up into the fingertips as we extend through the arms. Exhaling, we fold. Hands down to the floor, either side of the feet. You'll see Maura's going to tuck her nose right into her knees. If you need to, bend your knees a little. Inhaling, she'll lift the head and chest to look up towards her third eye. Exhaling, she'll step or jump back and then slowly lower down towards the floor. Now you can do this with straight legs, the way she's just done it, or you can come back up and she can do it on the knees, so you can see the variation. That's easier, so if you need to, do it that way. She'll scoop through into her upward facing dog as she inhales. The head comes all the way back and we try to look to the tip of the nose, and then you'll see her move all the way back into her downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're going to stay for 5 breaths. Long, deep inhales through the nose, exhales through the nose. As I push just gently on her sacrum, I'm moving the weight back into her heels. This gives her a sense of grounding, takes some of the weight out of her hands. When I'm ready and I start to let her go, she's going to see if she can keep as much weight back there as possible. So I'm going to gently take my pressure away. She'll stay there for just a moment longer, and now we're ready to come forward. Tight waist, inhale as she looks up. She'll step or jump to stand. With straight legs, she'll lift the chest and look up just for a moment, and then exhale. She'll fold the head all the way back in. Inhale as she comes back up to stand. She looks up into her fingertips, and then she comes back to her Samasthiti here, even standing position. So that's A. Should we try B? Inhaling, she'll now bend the knees as she takes the hands up, and again looks up to the fingertips. Exhale as she folds hands down. You'll notice the straightening the legs then. Inhale as you look up. Exhale, same again. She'll step back or jump back and lower down to the floor. Remember, you can use knees if you need to. Inhale to your upward facing dog. Let that head come back, open your heart. Exhaling, she'll move back into her downward facing dog. Here's where it's a little different. Right foot, inhale, step all the way between your thumbs and then rise up and take your palms together. We'll stay for 5 breaths. Normally we would be for just a single count, but it'll give you a chance to see if you can bend your front knee a little bit more, to straighten your back leg a little bit more, to try to lift through your chest, to hold the belly tight. And you can see how she's reaching up through her chest, through her hands to the ceiling. Exhale, she'll come back down, stepping back with that right leg and lowering again, knees or straight legs to the floor. Inhale, she comes to her upward facing, and then exhale, she pushes back to her downward facing dog. Now the left side, inhale, she'll step again. If it's not one full step, make it several little steps. Walk it into position, and again, she's going to hold and breathe. 1, you can see she's got quite a pronounced arch in her lift. 2, you may feel that you can't quite curl back that much. That's okay. 3, keep working your back leg into the floor, bending your front knee. 4, keep the belly tight. We want to protect and lengthen the lower back. 5, she comes down, hands to the floor, steps back, and again lowers down. Inhale to her upward facing dog, still looking at the tip of the nose. Exhale back into her downward facing dog. Before, 5 breaths again, you saw me pushing against her sacrum. 2, now you're going to see me pulling against her hip flexors to do the same thing. 3, trying to again bring that weight back into her heels. 4, until she's ready to come forward again. 5, inhale, she'll bend the knees, step or jump to stand once again, landing softly, lifting the chest, and then exhale, folding the head in. Great. Inhale as she bends the knees to come up once again. She'll look to her fingertips, and then she'll come back to her Samasthiti. Good. Let's change position so everyone can see you from the front. So as she stands again with her feet together in preparation for the next part of the sequence, she's going to step or jump her feet open just a little bit to bring her hands to her waist for our first standing posture. Inhale, she'll reach down, take her big toes, first and second finger hooking inside, straight arms lifting the chest to look up. Now as she exhales, she'll fold into the posture, pressing her thumbs down onto the top of each big toe. You can see she's straightening her legs and rounding her spine, trying to dip her nose all the way in between her knees. 3, If she wants to challenge herself, she can bring her weight forward a little bit more. 4, ooh, good. And 5, inhale, straight arms, she'll lift the head and chest to look up, and then pause to exhale, that's all. Now sliding the hands underneath the feet, Parahastasana, second posture. Inhale, look, exhale and fold, take your head down again, and she'll curl it in and look under, same thing to the tip of the nose. 1, very similar looking posture. 2, if you needed to, you could still hold your big toes. This is going to send you back on your heels a bit more. 3, which means it's going to challenge those hamstrings. 4, really going for that length in the spine. And 5, inhale, she looks up again, pauses at the halfway point to exhale, then brings her hands to her waist. Inhale, rise all the way back out, good, and then brings her feet together. Samastitihi, good. Coming back to the front of this mat, we're going to step open 1/4 turn to the right side. Inhale, she steps apart for Uttita Trikonasana, standing triangle posture. The right foot turns out, and she exhales to reach down and take hold of her right big toe. Now, if you can't reach your toe, take your ankle instead, or put your fingertips on the floor. Good. But if you've got the depth, go for it. Take that big toe. Why not? If I give her an adjustment, I'm going to lock her back heel in place so she doesn't slide and lose that foot, and just try to bring her into better alignment through the center of her mat. When you're starting, you may feel like you're pitching forward with the head and chest and your hips are swinging back. All we're trying to do there is line up through the center of the mat if we can. Inhale, she comes back up to stand, turns the right foot in, turns the left foot out, and comes down to take the left big toe. So same thing on the left side as she just did on the right. Lovely. 1, tightening the waist, rolling the chest open to the ceiling. 2, there's this circular action, rolling from the back to the front. 3, looking right up into the fingertips. This is the looking point, or the drishti. 4, and again to rise up. 5, tight waist, she comes up to stand, left foot in, right foot out, and now she's going to go into a twist. She'll take the left hand across to the outside of the right foot. Now if you need to, you can go inside the foot or on top of the foot, but if you can, outside the foot is best. And then looking up to see that top hand. 2, good. You'll notice she's trying to shift back in this right hip. 3, 4, and 5. Inhale as she comes up to stand. She's going to turn her right foot in and her left foot out. I'm going to change her position so that I can show an adjustment. So if you want to come back up and face this direction, let's show everybody what it looks like with the adjustment. So left foot here and right foot here. Turn and bring your feet to these separate mats. So you're going to reorient yourself. Good. And as she comes down and takes this right hand across to the outside of the left foot, you can see it in a slightly different alignment now. She's working up the center line of the mat. And if I were to adjust her here, it would be to lift her up and open in the chest. That's going to feel like a much deeper twist for her. 4. She's deeply breathing. And 5. She comes up to stand, arms wide, feet parallel, and she steps back to the front of the mat. Samastitihi. Good. Let's come back to the front of this mat. We'll do just one more. So 1/4 turn to the right side. Deeper step now. Inhale, really opening wide, turning that right foot out. Exhaling, she'll bend the right knee. The right hand comes to the floor outside the foot, and lengthening that left arm forward. You can see a lovely straight line between the back leg and the top arm. 2. She's low in this front leg. 3, but not collapsed. If I push on her, she should be able to resist me. 4, that's it, good. And 5, she comes up to stand, turns right foot in and left foot out. Exhaling, she comes down on the left side. Same thing, left hand to the floor, right arm comes out and forward, and she's rolling her chest up to the ceiling, trying to see these fingertips again. 3, if she wanted to, she could take her left hand off the floor for a moment. 4, just to see that the leg is really holding her up. She's not leaning down into that hand. Good. And 5, inhale as she comes up. She'll come back to the front of the mat, Samastiti. There's a twist there, but we're going to leave it out. Let's do one more, shall we? Inhale, Parsvottanasana, last one. Inhale, as she steps wide, she's going to wrap her arms behind her back. Let's go all the way to the final posture. So feet a little bit closer together and hands behind the back. Nice. Turn that right foot out, and now she folds forward. Exhale, she'll bring her nose down to her knee. It's a side-facing forward bend. If you feel like you're twisting, try to bring your hips back underneath you. If she can, she'll shift her weight forward just a little bit more, and you can see she's really trying to bury her nose against her knee. After the 5th breath, she comes back up to stand. Inhale, turns the right foot in, the left foot out, and exhale, she's ready to come down on the left side. Nose all the way to the knee, and again, she's squeezing it at the waist. Whether you see it from the outside or not, the felt sense is that you're contracting and folding your top half onto your bottom half. 4, Some good deep breathing through the nose here. And 5, she inhales to come up and again separates arms wide, feet parallel, and comes back to the front of her mat. Samastitihi. Good, thank you. We're out of time. It's a very quick practice. There's so much more for you to learn within the practice, but what that gives you is an opportunity to do at least some of the standing sequence and feel what the sun salutations are like. You feel good? Yes. You're warmed up? Okay, hopefully you guys are home as well. If you have questions about the practice, get online, learn more about it. And just what we're doing here is really a taste of it, but there's so much more to learn, and we welcome you to join us on the journey. Thank you guys. Namaste.